Hey everyone, Saul here. Welcome to my first build diary sort of thing for Solo Self-Found Sanctum League. So I decided to roll with a Righteous Fire Juggernaut, same thing I was playing in Ruthless Sanctum, and same thing I played for the majority of Calandra League as well. Enjoyed the build a lot, wanted to do it again. I didn't actually league start with it in Solo Self-Found Calandra. I played a Lightning Conduit Trickster first, and that kind of hit a wall and had me wanting to reroll, so I ended up playing Righteous Fire. I was looking at the typical Inquisitor, but Juggernaut looked interesting with the changes made last patch, with the new node to convert some of your armor to taking elemental damage. Well, not really convert, but 8% of your armor applies to your elemental damage taken as well. And I was later validated by that with Pox switching to, or trying out at least, Juggernaut, Righteous Fire, and then suggesting people league start it this league. I mean, Inquisitor did receive a slight nerf, but definitely still competitive. Especially when it comes to the damage front as well. Juggernaut just gets no damage whatsoever. It's all defense and utility. That said, damage is an easier problem to fix than defense and utility, so it is my preferred ascendancy this time around again. So I did play Inquisitor for a little bit in whatever the league before Calandra was. Sentinel? Yeah, that must have been it. But I only played like level 81, so basically barely dipped my toes into maps relative to what I normally do. So yeah, Jug it is. Had a very smooth time leveling, especially after coming from the process of leveling the same build but in Ruthless. No damage problems whatsoever. I did end up finding a 5-link in Act 5, which is pretty obscene. The armor is like level 46, I believe. And the fact that it was on a good base as well, a strength int base, is just icing on the cake, really. Obviously, probably wouldn't have been able to use a dex base or something like that, which would have been unfortunate, but, you know, I don't really expect to get a 5-link anyways. You might be able to notice in this clip, I'm actually not using it as a 5-link, but 2 separate 4-links. And will probably continue to do so until my damage starts to feel more bad, and then I'll hopefully have some more long-term gear by that point and the means to link or socket and link my gear that I have at that point, and I can split my Righteous Fire out into a 5-link or a 4-link, and then probably put Fire Trap on the 5-link at that point. Or who knows, maybe I have a separate body armor altogether. That said, I'll get into this a little bit more when I switch over to the gear side of things here in a second, but I probably plan on doing like another Essence strategy and going for what are the options? Helmet or gloves? Yeah, elemental or damage over time, respectively. Well, maybe not respectively. Yeah, I think the helmet is elemental damage. And the gloves are damage over time. But those would be a 30% multiplier each, so if I can manage to pick up those, then I can have an easier time with deciding what goes where as well. Anyways, that was a bit of a mapping showcase. I can jump into character sheet now, or yeah, I guess character panel, whatever, and show off some gear and such. Alright, here we are in game, looking at the character stuff. Let's see, going over gear first, I suppose. I've had this Quartz Scepter since Act 2 because it dropped with +1 all fire spells. I have crafted fire damage on it right now just because they had a spot there to put stuff, so I put something there. Yeah, this is it might be fairly difficult to replace actually because +1 levels carry so hard, but the second I can, I will definitely do so, hopefully on a better base. Got the 5-link, of course. Again, item level 46. Found this in the tail end of Act 5, so been rolling with that ever since. Made leveling pretty smooth, being on the 2 4-links. For the most part, Righteous Fire is fine with clearing. Occasionally hit a pack where it's a little more resistant or whatever and need to throw a fire trap. Helmet, nothing interesting there. Rings are actually pretty good. Life, some stats, which is basically some more life, and a res with an open prefix, which isn't super useful. Gloves, I was just using, if I can find them, these gloves for pretty much the entire character since Act 1. That must be like prison or something when I first got these. So yeah, just replaced those. Literally the map I ran. These are some of the gloves I picked up. They're marginally better. Just overcaps me more a little bit and has a little bit of life and regen. Belt, not super great. Thinking about switching to this one. If I can fix my cold res elsewhere. Boots, I think these are going to be hard to replace. They've got good amount of life as far as I'm concerned. Some flat regen. 30 movement speed. 10% increased life regen, which is always fantastic for this build. And both an open prefix and suffix. So if I want to craft like hybrid life or something, because resists aren't a problem, I can, but otherwise I will most likely be replacing this fire res craft with a hybrid elemental chaos res craft. Shield, nothing too special there. Ring, just a lahoop for now. Attributes are pretty nice, as well as the res and a little bit of damage doesn't hurt either. I am going to need to fix my dexterity, ideally somehow, on some other pieces of gear as well, like say the Saint Hero's dexterity. That would be great, because don't actually remember how much dex I'm going to need for fire trap. I think it might be like 111 or something like that. I'll have to check the gem for level 21. Might be less than that though, which would be great. But I currently have this node here, which is 20 dex, and this one up here, which is 30. So sooner I can replace that on gear, the better, and pick up some better passives. Especially because this build shouldn't really demand all that many suffixes, but I do kind of remember this being a big point of my last character, the dex issue. Apart from that, one of my better pieces is definitely this amulet. Like I said, dex is an issue, so 34 total from here. A lot of life and some res is pretty good. The mana hurts me for a reason I'll get into momentarily. Yeah, apart from that, build's been going great. Survivability is good, damage is good. If I slash deaths, I died one time to the exploding sea witch squid things in Act 1. I just like walked into a pack of maybe 8 or 10 of them and forgot I had a movement skill and just stood there with 0 fire res and died immediately. So past my obvious luck with like Lahoop is pretty decent, weapon's pretty decent, 5-link is great this early. Also had some unique luck. I don't have them pulled out right now, but for example, Barracks, Respite, and Primordial Chain. Yeah, these two. I think someone that liked the build less than I do would definitely be re-rolling an Ignite Elementalist right now. At least based on the Respite, maybe not the Primordial Chain, although there is an argument to be made about using it, but I think most people would probably opt towards a different type of setup. But the Respite is definitely amazing. Just makes you a clear speed monster with Elementalist, so maybe I will end up rolling that, although I said that last league and I don't think I did, even though I had I think 2 of these. Either way, nice, unique to have, opens up some good clear speed possibilities at the very least, if I can overcome the shortcomings of Elementalist, which are pretty much the damage, or not the damage, the defense. The one thing it does do is damage, so yeah, those are pretty good pickups as far as I'm concerned. Whoops, keyboard is on the wrong layer. Also got one of the new jewel things going on. This was one of my quest rewards, got reservation efficiency and area damage, so this is potentially one of my like later endgame jewels. Sucks that it rolled 2% instead of 3%, but I did check it out too. It's something like a 1 in 180 if you're using alterations like Alt-Aug on jewels to hit the mana reservation, whatever it's called, affix, yeah, which is a lot better than I think people expected, so that seems pretty accessible to me. Obviously you might not hit, or most likely you won't hit, another mod that you do want, but with the other mod on a blue item and a regal, fairly decent chance there, I would say, especially if you're getting to that point where you want to try to fit in some extra auras. Which brings me back to my next point of last league, what I ended up doing was using a devouring diadem for pretty much most of the character. What I ended up doing was my main auras on mana and buffs, I suppose, were Tempest Shield, Purity Fire, Skitterbots, Determination, and Purity of... Nope, not Purity Fire. Herald of Ash, which only affects your fire trap damage, but that's the bulk of your single target anyways. So, yeah, I ran those on mana. Then I ran Vitality on life, as I'm doing now with Arrogance, and then I would use Malevolence on Divine Blessing. So I might aim for something similar as well this time around, just because otherwise it's a pretty massive pain to try to fit in auras. Even in doing that, I had to come down to this cluster over here, Champion of the Cause, and this node behind it. I didn't have to use any sort of like reservation anointment, so I avoided that, but I think Pox on his character anointed Charisma, which I might look into that as well, go a different route with this, especially if I end up crafting an Elder Helm. I just didn't end up doing so on my last character. That was topping out at about 2.7 mil single target DPS, so hopefully I can see about doing a bit better than that, I suppose. And that will probably involve using a different helmet, so either way, I think in the short term that's probably a good idea, so I might look into it anyways. We just have to use the Atlas in such a way that it facilitates doing Katarina. Also, stash update, I showed this in the beginning, but I've never entered maps with more currency than this. It's pretty insane, especially like Alex, Scours, Chances, Chaos. Great map stuff, generally speaking. So, very happy to have that, especially Chances. Often running a little low on those at the start as I'm buying maps from Kirak and such, so this should make the early Atlas completion pretty easy. As far as that goes, nothing super notable. Gonna do the usual come up the middle. Shaping nodes here, round a commissioned officer, these two shaping nodes, and yeah, go from there, I suppose. From there I'll probably... I don't typically block stuff early because it's useful to get like oils, even if I don't want to spec into Blight specifically. But yeah, gonna do some essence stuff as well, of course, so I guess after that probably go for more essence related things. In terms of like longer term type stuff, I'm thinking of going Expedition because it's my all-time favorite and it's amazing, and just gives you a ton of stuff in general, especially with the new agency over here in this corner. And gonna try to go for some ritual this time around too. These nodes are really interesting. I thought these might apply to like the entire page when you reroll, but it seems to be per item, which makes it more consistent but more weird. So I'm curious to try that out. Ritual is also on the map device for 13 Chaos, although if you're fully spec'd into something, with the buffs to the chances on the tree, you can get like 75% chance to get it in your maps, which is great, especially with this node down here, which a blood-filled vessel is essentially a ritual scarab. So yeah, that's about it. A lot of rambling here at the end, but hopefully you enjoyed the update, and if you did, feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Peace.